Hello, my name is Scott, and today I'm bringing you Prison Architect Alpha 30. I've had this game for a few months now, and I started on the Alpha number 25, and I haven't played it actually for a few months, and a few things have been added, such as the chapel and parole and library and a few of the other things. What I wanted to do is get started back into this game, and one thing I've never done in my previous prisons, although I've more or less gotten close, I suppose, is get to the 500 prisoner cell block E grant. The largest prison size I have built has had about 320 something prisoners, so I'm looking forward to trying to beat that and get up to 500 prisoners and have it actually stable, have it so that things are running smoothly. I may survive, I may fail, but we're going to have fun. Anyway, in order to get up to 500 prisoners, it's going to be rather difficult if we just started a large prison and tried to build our way up there with just the one prison. So what I am going to do is build a series of prisons. We're going to start off small, build a small prison, maybe 100 prisoners, and then from there build up to 200 or 300 prisoners, and then build up to 500 prisoners. So we'll build the small prison, sell it off, make a bit of money, build an even bigger prison, sell it off, and then go for broke with a massive 500 plus level prison. It would be interesting if there is a cell block beyond that, say a 1,000 prisoner challenge, and that would be something I'd actually be interested in giving a go. Let me know what the largest prison that you have actually built if you've played this game down in the comments. And if you haven't played this game, what are you waiting for? Anyway, to get started, what we are going to do is start a new prison. We're going to start on a small map, and we're going to have fog of war and generate forests on, and of course failure conditions. We're not going to be using unlimited funds because that would not be the point of this challenge, this series, because with unlimited funds you can get up to the 500, not really any problem. Not going to generate lakes or buildings. I have generated lakes in the past, but unfortunately it's experimental, and I had one prison where I planned to build the prison block, the cell block. There was a one tile spot on the map which was water, unbuildable, right in the center of where I wanted my cell block to be. So I'm not going to touch the lakes, although the lakes can provide some interesting geography to work around. Anyway, let's get started. First thing we're going to do is pause the game. And the first thing I am going to do is I'm going to, of course, want to have a fence around the exterior of the prison. And for this prison, I will probably aim to do 100 prisoners. I've done some calculations, and I figure that's what we can fit into this. I am going to separate the prison into two cell blocks, one in the top here, which will be about 50 prisoners, another one down here in the bottom, about 40 prisoners. I'll also throw into the corner, either here or up here, a cell block that will be about for 10 prisoners, and it'll be for the protective custody needs if we need it. Also, I'd like to hear from you, what kind of prisoners should we bring into this starting prison? Do we want to go medium security? Do we want to go minimum security? Or do we want to go all out on the maximum security? One thing to note is that with Alpha 30, they've changed the way intake happens, and you get a certain pool of prisoners that can come into your prison. And this will add to the total available every day. You can decide how many you actually want to bring in at any one time, which is really nice. It was kind of annoying where you were up to, say, 48 prisoners. You can have like 54 prisoners, but the next, if you were to bring in more prisoners, another 20 would show up, and you're like, I can't handle that many. I can't build extra cell blocks. I can't accept the prisoners. Well, this makes it easy. You're able to decide exactly how many you want in, so I can change how many I want. I can either all of them, which in this case is only 8, or I can say, no, let's only bring in one guy. I'll get a payment of $500, or if I change the ratios, I'll only get 300 and it'll be a minimum security. And this way you can decide what ratio of prisoners, in this case 4 prisoners, that changes it to 3 and 1. That you can only have no more than 2 at this time. And so what I'm going to do at this point is I have a design I'd like to lay down, but I don't want to bore you with all the details. I don't want to have to concentrate on building prison and providing some sort of commentary. So what I'm going to do at this point, rather than just cutting the video and coming back with a fully laid out prison, is I'm going to fast forward and show you the process of putting down the planning. Anyway, see you on the other side. Welcome back. As you can see, I've laid out a rough sketch of the prison. Okay, maybe it might not be a rough sketch. I've, done all the cells, but what you can see is up here there should be space for 50 prisoners. Down here is 40 prisoners. This is going to be a 10-block protective custody. And in here I originally had a canteen weird thing here. I had an open empty space, but I had forgot in my original design that I forgot a shower for the protective custody guys. This is the shower block for these guys. This is the shower block for these guys. Shared kitchen in the center, yard along the left side. There's a path that goes along the outside for, you guessed it, dog patrols. Here is an undefined space that I don't have a use for. It could be a workshop, it could be something else. Let me know down in the comments what you think should be in here. I'd like to put the chapel, library, and the common room in here, as the people, the prisoners, will have access to this space. And so this is a main corridor. In here, I've left room for enough tables, and I have put a few toilets, which I find is incredibly useful whenever you have long eat times. You get prisoners that get rather riotous and will cause a scene if you don't give them a place to meet their needs. Have a couple serving tables along here, as well as a few places for things like phone booths or TVs or other things that the prisoners may want to have. This is probably going to be more than enough for what we need for the kitchen, but it will supply this as well as a few tables down here for the protective custody. And it's not that far of a walk. They'll have to go through storage down here. This is an undefined space. I plan to use this as a holding cell. I was going to make this a yard for the people who might be in the holding cell, but the holding cell isn't going to probably be used all that much. I don't plan to have an excess of prisoners. So this is also undefined space here. Plan to have a laundry here as well as here. This one will supply up here. This one will supply down here. Clean cupboard and clean cupboard here. And this will be probably the parole room. This is a visitor's room, and I just realized I forgot a place for the visitors to come in. Here is going to be an open concept office. As you can see, I've subdivided it into 4 squares. And rather than putting walls around each of the offices and doors and stuff like that, all the offices are going to share this common space. And this cross in the center is going to be defined as a staff room. And technically, it doesn't meet the needs of the staff room, I believe. It needs to be a minimum of 4x4, but because the staff room is 9 tiles wide by 9 tiles high, the game counts it as a 9x9 staff room. And so we're going to have 4 offices divided by a 9x9 strip staff room. Put a few couches and stuff in here. It'll look nice. You'll see what I mean. Alright, I believe that is it. But let me know what you'd like to see improved in this design, and maybe other things that you come across that you think I've missed. At the moment, I am just starting out on YouTube, so I'm not going to have many people who'll be watching this video right away. So odds are, if you're watching this, it's probably because you came back from the future to see some of my earlier videos and see my Prison Architect series in progress. So obviously I won't be able to take your comments into account, but I hope that if I continue playing the game and you stay on, to take a look to see what else I'm doing, what other designs I might do, that you'll be able to provide me comments and suggestions on what I can do better. I also forgot, power and water's up here. Hopefully we won't need a second power, but we can always slot that in. Anyway, I'll end this here for now. This first episode was just going to be planning, and then we're going to start laying down the foundations. What I tend to do is, with a design like this, I tend to build the protective custody area first. I get it set up with cells, I get it set up with common room, kitchen, stuff like that, so that when I build my prison and when I start expanding into these cell blocks, this is already established so that if I happen to get a prisoner who suddenly needs protective custody, it's like, oh no, now I have to build a space just for them. Nope. Because I built this at the start, and it's more than able to handle the first 8 prisoners or so that you get, because I built it at the start, it's ready to go. I can just zone it as protective custody, and they have a place they can go to be safe. Anyway, that's it for today, and hope to see you in the future. Bye-bye.